Good morning. A very warm welcome to you. Myself Deepak Suwalka, Associate Professor, Faculty of Nursing, Rama University, Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. Today, my topic is therapeutic communication. It comes under the mental health nursing in the third year, or we can say in the new syllabus in the fifth semester. Therapeutic communication. First, we will take the basic meaning of the word therapeutic and communication. The word therapeutic means it is for therapy, it is for treatment, it is for, we can say it is for the relaxation, it is for the treatment modality. And the second word is the communication. Communication is the basically Latin word. It means to deliver, to imparting something. Now we can adjoining both two words, therapeutic communication. It is the communication, it means imparting the knowledge for the therapy, for the treatment purpose. Now we come to first the word communication. The word communication, now we can say what is the communication? Communication is the interchange, it is the exchange of feelings, of thoughts, of ideas in between two or more individuals. We can write here, it is the exchange or interchange of ideas, feelings, thoughts between two or more persons or individual. Now, it is the basic, there are four things which are necessary here. We can say it is the model of communication, that is SMCR model. S means sender and the second part is the receiver, and it is going through the channel. Message, and this is the response, or we can say it is feedback also. Now I am going to explain how the communication going on. Communication, when the sender, when a person giving the message to somebody else, it is encoding is here, and the message is encoded in a form, then receiver decodes it. So decoding is here. Once sender sending the message, it is converted to a particular message via the encoding process, and the same message decoded by the receiver by the process decoding. Now when receiver receive that information, then he or she may give the response feedback to the sender. This process continuously going on. It is the never ending process till the purpose is not completed. I think now we are understood about the communication. Now we can types of the communication. Intrapersonal communication, second is interpersonal communication. Intrapersonal means within self. When we talk with ourselves, it is called intrapersonal communication, and when the communication goes between the two person or two individual, it is known as the interpersonal communication. Commonly it is known as IPR. Okay, IPR, our topic is therapeutic communication. Therapeutic communication also is the part of the IPR. थेरेपेटिक कम्युनिकेशन का पार्ट है, IPR का जो पार्ट है वो क्या कहलाएगा, थेरेपेटिक कम्युनिकेशन. इट इज द ऑल्सो. नाउ वी हैव सम अदर टाइप्स ऑफ द कम्युनिकेशन. इट इज verbal communication, you have heard about it. Non-verbal communication, and third is the written communication. It comes under this also. We can put it in the verbal communication also. Verbal communication means it is having the some words, some sentences are there, And in the non-verbal communication, there is no words, there is nothing, but in non-verbal communication, it is the expressed feeling by our gestures, our postures, our emotions. These are the three types of the communication. Now we come to again to the therapeutic communication. We have just discussed the communication before therapeutic communication because it is necessary to understand what is the communication. Then we will be able to understand what is the therapeutic communication. Now we come to the therapeutic communication. What is the importance, what are the purposes of the therapeutic communication? Therapeutic communication means it is very necessary for the patient and for the nurse or any healthcare provider. We can say it the nurse patient relationship also, NPR, nurse patient relationship. It means basically nurse patient relationship, or we can say the therapeutic communication. It deals between the nurse or the patient to relieve his stress, to relieve his problems, to relieve the problematic condition by using these therapeutic techniques. Now, what are the characteristics of the therapeutic communication? Therapeutic communication must be genuine. In the therapeutic communication, there must be a genuineness. It should be present there. Without genuineness, it is quite impossible to maintain a good relationship between patient and the nurse. Next is the positive regard, or we can say positive respect. In our nursing profession, we already studied in the first year, second year, we have to treat an individual as a unique person. We have to give the positive regard, we have to give the proper respect, so that we can also receive the same by the patient. If we will give respect, he will also respect us or our profession. It means positive regard, if we are giving to the patient, patient will positively reply to us and our trustworthy relationship will be smooth. Next is empathy. Empathy. I think you all know about this. There are two words, one is the empathy, one is the sympathy. There are always some confusion. Students or candidates always confuse between two words. So first I have to clarify between those words. Empathy means we can feel the same, just like the patient, what is the situation, what is the problem he or she is facing. Then sympathy, what is the sympathy? Sympathy, just like we are giving the moral support, we are just saying positive words towards the patient, It is the sympathy. Now our word is here, our characteristic is the empathy. We should feel the patient's problem, we should feel the patient's disease condition, we should feel the patient's stress. That is the empathy. Next is the trustworthiness. In every relationship, trust is very important part. Without trust, any type of relationship, any type of communication, it cannot be last long. So trustworthy relationship is the very important part, is the very important factor in the therapeutic communication. So we should gain the trust. We should not do any false commitment to the patient. We should not give the wrong advice to the patient, so that we can achieve this thing, trustworthiness, in our therapeutic communication, or we can say it is the, what I have said, NPR, nurse patient relationship. Next is the clarity. Next characteristic is the clarity. Clarity means everything should be transparent. Whatever is right, you should just tell to the patient. Whatever is wrong, you just tell to the patient it is the wrong. It means you should not do anything wrong with the patient or any wrong commitment to the patient. It is the clarity. Next is the responsibility. In our ward, in our healthcare setup, patient is our responsibility and we should completely admit it. We cannot deny the patient is not our responsibility. If we are doing our work with the proper responsibility, the patient is with us, patient attendant is with us for the treatment purpose. So, we will do the responsibility for the patient and for the attendant also. Next is the assertiveness. Assertiveness means when we denying for something, we are saying no, the front person cannot, we have to say no by the politeness. Okay. These are the characteristics of the therapeutic communication. First was the genuineness, positive regard or respect, empathy, trustworthiness, clarity, responsibility and the assertiveness. Now we come to the techniques of the therapeutic communication. For therapeutic communication, some techniques are here, just like observing. We have to observe the patient, ki what is the behavior of the patient, how he is behaving. The next one is the listening. We must be the active listener. If we want to understand the patient's problem thoroughly, we have to be a good listener, we have to be an active listener to the patient. Next is the silence. When patient is talking, patient is telling something to us and the patient taking some pause, we should not interrupt that condition. It is good that he is taking the pause, he is silence, maybe he is thinking something, so we should not interrupt that condition. Next is the restating. Restating means the statement given by the patient, whatever he or she is telling to us, we should repeat that statement, we should repeat that sentence, maybe some corrections are there by the side of patient. And it is possible, maximum time it is possible, ki there may be some changes in that statement, the first the patient has given, clarifying. The next technique is the clarifying. When patient is saying something, it is just like the restating also, we will just repeat the sentence to clarify what the patient is telling to us. Next is the validating. Validating means we are validating the statement of the patient. We are just taking the consent by repeating the sentence by our side. These three techniques just like the similar. Next is the giving information. We are the nurse, we are the health care provider person. So, it is our responsibility to give information. It is okay, but the main thing that is to be considered that we should not give any information wrong. We should not give any false commitment to the patient. The next is pinpointing. When the patient is telling something to us, we should take a word. We should take the pointing word and restate that sentence and ask again to the patient, is it right? Are you mean it? Do you mean the same? Just like that, it is the pinpointing. Next is the linking. When patient is saying something, just like the patient is saying, just imagine the patient is the female and she is complaining that my husband doesn't give any gift to me. Then we can say, your husband never give you any gift? Then she replied, oh no, one time he gave me the gift. So we can link the two situations together so that we can get the correct information. The next is the reality. Reality means the actual condition. We should tell, we should give the, it is just like this giving information, ki we have to give the real perception, we have to give the knowledge about the actual condition, actual data to the patient. Next is the focusing. When patient is talking to us, he is giving information to us, we should focus completely to their conversation and find out something that can help to the treatment and our treatment process. Lastly, we can summarize the all summary in the techniques when we are discussing with the patient, and using these all our techniques, then lastly we can summarize we have discussed in the proper communication. Next, it was the techniques. Now we come to the phases of therapeutic communication. Phases of therapeutic communication, right? The first phase is there are 4 phases. The first one is the pre-interaction phase. Second one is the interaction phase. Third one is the working phase, and the last one is the termination phase. The first is the pre-interaction phase. That is we are establishing our relationship with the patient. We are talking each other, giving the information from our side and taking the information of patient side. This is the pre-interaction, matlab before interaction phase. Next phase is the introductory phase, we can say introductory phase. It means introduction should be there in this phase, and the main and the most important phase is this working phase. Working phase, it means whatever we have planned, like the nursing care plan, any treatment modalities, we will implement in this phase. We can say implementation phase also. So that's why we can say it is the most important phase, working phase, implementation phase, or the last phase is termination phase. Termination, it means it is to bind up the relationship. Okay. Termination, when we start the first phase, pre-introduction phase, pre-interaction phase, it is already decided under the first phase we will at a time we will terminate this therapeutic communication or this therapeutic relationship, and it is the time so that we means the nurse and the patient both are ready that this communication, this phase will be terminated. So I think you all have understood what is the therapeutic communication. We have studied, we have started from the what is the communication, what is the definition of communication, how the communication goes on. We have studied the SMCR model, and then we have started the therapeutic communication. There we have studied the characteristics and the techniques of the therapeutic communication, and lastly we have discussed the phases of the therapeutic communication. Thank you.